Asaph Hall III was an American astronomer who was most famous for having discovered the moons of Mars, Deimos and Phobos. In 1877, he determined the orbits of satellites of other planets and of double stars, the rotation of Saturn, and the mass of Mars. Life. Hall was born in Goshen, Connecticut, the son of Asaph Hall II, a clockmaker, and Hannah Palmer. His paternal grandfather Asaph Hall I was a Revolutionary War officer and Connecticut state legislator. His father died when he was 13, leaving the family in financial difficulty, so Hall left school at 16 to become an apprentice to a carpenter. He later enrolled at the Central College in McGrawville, New York, where he studied mathematics, though he took classes from an instructor of geometry and German, Angeline Stickney. In 1856 they married. In 1856, Hall took a job at the Harvard College Observatory in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and turned out to be an expert computer of orbits. Hall became assistant astronomer at the U.S. Naval Observatory in Washington, D.C. in 1862, and within a year of his arrival he was made professor. In 1875, Hall was given responsibility for the USNO 26-inch telescope, the largest refracting telescope in the world at the time. It was with this telescope that he discovered Phobos and Deimos in August 1877. Hall also noticed a white spot on Saturn which he used as a marker to ascertain the planet's rotational period. In 1884, Hall showed that the position of the elliptical orbit of Saturn's moon, Hyperion, was retrograding by about 20 degrees per year. Hall also investigated stellar parallaxes and the positions of the stars in the Pleiades star cluster. Hall was responsible for apprenticing Henry S. Pritchard at the Naval Observatory in 1875. On June 5, 1872, Hall submitted an article entitled "On an Experimental Determination of Pi" to the journal Messenger of Mathematics. The article appeared in the 1873 edition of the journal, Volume 2, pages 113 to 114. In this article Hall reported the results of an experiment in random sampling that Hall had persuaded his friend, Captain O.C. Fox, to perform when Fox was recuperating from a wound received at the Second Battle of Bull Run. The experiment involved repetitively throwing at random a fine steel wire onto a planed wooden surface ruled with equidistant parallel lines. Pi was computed as 2 milliliters, and where m is the number of trials, l is the length of the steel wire, a is the distance between parallel lines, and n was the number of intersections. This paper, An Experiment on the Buffon's Needle Problem, is a very early documented use of random sampling in scientific inquiry. Hall retired from the Navy in 1891. He became a lecturer in celestial mechanics at Harvard University in 1896, and continued to teach there until 1901. The Halls had 4 children. Asaph Hall, Jr., became an astronomer. Samuel Stickney Hall worked for Mutual Life Insurance Company. Angelo Hall became a Unitarian minister and professor of mathematics at the U.S. Naval Academy, and Percival Hall became president of Gallaudet University. Angeline Hall died in 1892. Hall married Mary Gauthier after he fully retired to Goshen, Connecticut in 1901. Hall died in November 1907 while visiting his son Angelo in Annapolis, Maryland. Awards and honors. Hall won the Lalande Prize of the French Academy of Sciences in 1878, the Gold Medal of the Royal Astronomical Society in 1879, the Arago Medal in 1893, and was made a Chevalier in the Ordre National de la Légion d'Honneur in 1896. Hall crater on the Moon as well as Hall crater on the Martian moon, Phobos, are named in his honor. Asteroid 3299 Hall is also named in his honor.